The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Jess De Los Santos. This time around, let's go through the press briefing by the Philippine Statistics Authority wherein they are announcing December inflation print. Let's take a listen.
Sa paggalaw ng mga presyo ng ating bilihin sa Pilipinas, itong nakalipas na Desyembre 2022. Ating pakinggan ang report ni Yusek Dennis Mapa.
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Ang Philippine Statistics Authority ay mag-uulat ng antas ng inflation sa bansa para sa buwan ng Disyembre 2022. Ang headline inflation ng pagtaas ng presyo ng mga produkto at serbisyo sa bansa ay bumilis sa antas na 8.1% nitong Disyembre 2022. Ito ang pinakamataas na naitalang inflation simula noong Nobyembre 2008.
You just heard Undersecretary Dennis Claire Map of the Philippine Statistics Authority reporting inflation figures for the month of December. Again, that accelerated at 8.1% compared to the 3.1% that we had a year ago. That also is slightly quicker than the 8% print back in November. Again, at 8.1%, that is the highest print since November of 2008 at 9.1%. That brings average inflation at 5.8% for full year 2022. Core inflation is also quicker for the month of December at 6.9% compared to the 6.5% that was reported back in November. Let's parse through those inflation numbers some more with Professor Percival Pena-Reyes, Director of the Ateneo Center for Economic Research and Development. Prof, good day. Rainy morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. Happy New Year to you and to your viewers.
All right. First, your thoughts on that inflation print, 8.1%.
Well, we were actually forecasting something higher, around 8.9%. Okay, but it's good because the figure brings us to closer to the assumption of the government, annual inflation assumption. So it's within their assumption. Okay, and we also see that food is still the main driver of inflation for the month, since oil prices last month decreased. Okay, and this appears to be an indication of a pass-through, because inflation drivers previous to that were really transport and fuel.
Right.
Okay, but now it's more into food.
Now, do we see that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Prof. Go ahead, continue.
Yes, but of course, we still have to be in a cautionary state. There's still a possibility that it will go up next month in January.
So there's a possibility that this is not yet the peak. Up to
Yes,
what level do you
there's,
see inflation hitting, at least in January?
It's quite possible. It might kiss 9%.
Wow, 9%. For the month of January. Why is that? Why is that?
It still might be that effect on food prices. We're still feeling that. Also in our estimates, transport also might be a driver of it.
But
we hope that by January that will be the peak.
And then from then on, you see at least inflation tempering down or cooling down a bit. Give us your model here, your trend at least for 2023. When do you see us going back to within target at 2 to 4%? Or is that even a possibility for 2023?
Well, there are, of course, positive indications for 2023. For one thing, as noted by my colleague, Dr. Alvin Ang, in our weekly column, okay, there are, of course, three key events, global headwinds that added to the rising prices of 2022. But we see in 2023 key events that will change the course of the global gloom towards recession. Okay. These are positive indications na I would like to mention. first, there is the possibility of COVID-19 being endemic.
Okay.
Second, there is the reopening of the China economy. And third is the potential peace in Ukraine. So there is optimism in all of these. Okay. And of course, with regards to the endemicity, okay, World Health Organization has announced the end of pandemic could help prioritize resources towards lessening or even totally removing mobility and goods. Okay, and about the Chinese reopening, okay, this could reignite global trade with its factories going back to produce for the world. This reopening will also in turn address supply bottlenecks and shortages to ultimately help lower supply-induced inflation. And regarding potential peace in Ukraine, the third thing that I mentioned, okay, recent pronouncements of Russia appear to point to their willingness to go back to the negotiating table. So these three, I think, based on our reading of current events, this will help normalize global trade, bring back the cost of production and shipment to comfortable levels, and make commodity prices such as oil and food predictable based on weather and capacities rather than speculations. So we're seeing good indications for this year. Okay. But still, it would be prudent to remain cautious, no? Because in January, it might peak in January figure, no? But we're hoping, okay, barring other factors, no, that might mess that up, no. We hope that these three good things, no, would happen this year to ease inflation down.